Days after Russia recaptured Sudzha town in its border Kursk region last week, Ukrainian troops continue to launch artillery and drone strikes in the town. A video circulated in Telegram app has captured the moment of a Ukrainian drone strike in Sudzha. The video shows Russian soldiers walking in Sudzha, passing by struck Ukrainian military vehicles before the drone hits the area. The drone attack injures a Russian serviceman who then asks his fellow soldiers for help, saying he cannot move his leg. The video shows the soldier's legs covered in blood. Russia announced last Friday that its troops reclaimed Sudzha from Ukraine. With a pre-war population of 5,000, Sudzha was the largest town seized by Ukrainian troops after their surprise incursion into Russia's Kursk region last August. Ukraine's military commander, Oleksandr Syrsky, said last Thursday that Sudzha was almost completely destroyed due to relentless Russian strikes.
Пытались убежать. Вон гудит. Идет, вот он. Пацаны, помогите. Стоп, не могу ноги поставить. Давай быстрее.
Вижу.
Все. Я все открываю.
Ukraine may receive more French Mirage 2000 fighters. This was hinted at by French President Emmanuel Macron in an interview with Le Parisien. The publication notes that the recent fact of intercepting a Russian missile by a Mirage 2000 fighter, which was provided to Ukraine, has received wide publicity. Against this background, Macron does not rule out the provision of additional aircraft, including by third countries that use them. At the same time, La Dépêche, citing Macron's statement, writes that France is also working to speed up the delivery of certain missiles and drones that have been identified as a priority by the Ukrainians. The Mirage 2000 5F, a multi-role fighter developed by France's Dassault Aviation, entered Ukrainian service in early 2025 following a pledge by French President Emmanuel Macron in June 2024. The first batch of these jets arrived on February the 6th, 2025, as confirmed by French Armed Forces Minister Sébastien Lecornu, that noted that Ukrainian pilots had trained for months in France. Designed originally as an air superiority fighter, the Mirage 2000 5F variant boasts upgraded avionics, including the Thales RDY radar, and can carry advanced weaponry like the Mika air-to-air missile with a range of approximately 80 kilometers. For Ukraine, the jets were modified to also deploy Scalp EG cruise missiles and AASM hammer-guided bombs, enhancing their air-to-ground capabilities. However, despite these upgrades, experts argue that the aircraft faces significant challenges when pitted against Russia's Su-30 and Su-35 fighters in a dogfight scenario. The Mirage 2000 5F's Mika missile, while highly maneuverable and equipped with lock-on after launch capability, falls short in range, making it difficult for the jet to engage Russian fighters without entering their missile envelopes first. The Corriere della Sera writes that Ukraine has almost run out of missiles for the SAMP/T air defense system. Ukraine is asking the governments of the two countries for additional supplies, but there are no results yet. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, commenting on the shortage of these missiles, said that there have never been enough missiles for the SAMP/T systems. There is one problem with this system, or these systems, a large shortage of missiles, and it has been constant. I do not want to say how many of these missiles we have. What is with them? This is a constant problem. Constant, but I do not want Italy or France to be offended because they gave us these systems and they gave us missiles, the head of state said. Deputy Chairman of the Russian Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev, responded defiantly to the initiative of European countries to send peacekeeping troops to Ukraine after the cessation of hostilities. His corresponding message appeared on the social network X. He, in particular, noted that peacekeepers must be from countries that are not members of NATO. Otherwise, it would mean war with the alliance. He also cynically advised French President Emmanuel Macron and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer to consult with US President Donald Trump on this matter. Macron and Starmer are playing dumb. They are told time and time again that peacekeepers must be from countries that are not members of NATO. No, they still want to send tens of thousands. Say directly that you want to provide military assistance to neo-Nazis in Kiev, and that means war with NATO. Consult with Trump, scumbags, Medvedev wrote. Medvedev, who was considered a liberal politician during his time in office from 2008 to 2012, has repeatedly made headlines since the beginning of Russia's war against Ukraine with sharp threats such as the use of nuclear weapons against the West. The stationing of peacekeeping troops in Ukraine, as proposed by Britain and France as part of a ceasefire agreement with Russia, is a question for Kiev to decide and not Moscow, French President Emmanuel Macron said in an interview. Macron and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer have been rushing to consolidate military support for Ukraine as US President Donald Trump presses for a peace deal with Russia. Starmer hosted a virtual meeting on Saturday with Macron and other non-US allies of Ukraine. Ukraine is sovereign. If it asks for Allied forces to be on its territory, it's not something for Russia to accept or not, Macron said in a joint interview with several French regional newspapers. Russia has repeatedly rejected the idea of soldiers from countries belonging to the NATO alliance being stationed in Ukraine. Finland's President Alexander Stubb told BBC television that any firm commitments would come once there was a clear plan. There are anywhere from 0 to 50 different ways they can help. Boots on the ground is only one way. You can talk about intelligence, you can talk about different types of things, but it's too early to commit right now, he said. Britain and France both say they could send peacekeepers to Ukraine, while Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese said his country was also open to requests. Russian President Vladimir Putin said on Thursday he supported in principle Washington's proposal for a 30-day ceasefire with Ukraine, but that his forces would fight on until several crucial conditions were worked out.